So do you remember a time you really wanted to do something, but you ended up too scared? And I'm not speaking about something very huge, like jumping from Long Bean Bridge into the Red River, but about something very small in your daily life, like raising your hand in a conference to ask a question, or to go to a party where you don't know anyone, or just to ask a girl or a guy out. We all have this, what I call shitty fear, that we are always scared of. And I want to share with you a life principle I try to follow, which is do things that scare you. And basically, I was tired of having regrets all the time. I was tired of finding excuses every day. And I found it exciting to challenge myself. And when I was 8, I was really good at piano, and I had to perform at the primary school annual show, but I was really stressed. I was really nervous, and I really didn't want to play. So when it was my turn, I came up to the teacher with a shitty excuse, which was, I forgot my music sheet, so I cannot play. And it was 16 years ago, but I still remember it with a lot of details, because to this day, I still have a lot of regrets. And it was basically 16 years of regrets for 10 minutes of relief, because I regretted immediately after when I told my mother, who was also my piano teacher, that I didn't play and I just ran away. So here's my shitty fear. I cannot play music in public, I cannot sing in public, and I used to avoid any kind of public showcase because it really freaked me out. And I realized that it kept me away from so many good things. And I had this feeling until 2 years ago when I took guitar classes at university. After 3 months, my teacher told me, I really want you to play at the university show. And I really rocked it. And I'm kidding, I stopped going to guitar classes. I convinced myself with excuses, like very shitty ones, like, oh, maybe I don't really like playing guitar after all. And yeah, when I think about it, it's very crazy because here in Hanoi, every day I risk my life when I cross the street. And I don't care. But I really think that I will die instantly if I play guitar 3 minutes in public. So, like, what's the reason? And I think it's just a matter of habit. And something similar happened with my shitty fear. So, long story short, last year was my first concert in front of 50 people. And I was singing and playing hand drums. And it's all thanks to this guy who's a very talented guitar player. And he just needed someone to play some percussions with him. So I bought hand drums and we started jamming together. And the first times, I was feeling very ridiculous and not good enough, but I got used to it after a few times. And then I leveled up as we started to play in the street. And it was the same pattern. I got used to it, and the day of the concert, I didn't really care anymore. So do things that scare you. I think fear is a good indicator of what you should try, because the more you do it, the less you are scared, and at some point you will not be scared anymore. And it's very simple, but it made me realize that I could actually work on my shitty fear and stop finding excuses for everything I was not doing. And the first thing I did was really to realize what I was scared of. So asking myself, what am I scared of, but I would love to do? And basically it was doing any kind of public showcase, but I always knew that I would actually enjoy it to be on stage. And then it was more about what's scary about it. So really describing the worst case scenario. And in my case, was really feeling ridiculous and really seeing like an audience bored as fuck, or really feeling not good enough. And then I had to find ways to lower these fears, which were basically to be more confident in public situations and really to master very small, easy things and to be surrounded by good musicians who could teach me how to improve. And all of that came finally with my objective, like why did I want to smash this shitty fear? What was my objective? Because when you really have your objective in mind, a clear one, you unconsciously start to take action towards your goal. And Seneca once said, we suffer the most in our imagination than in reality. And I think he's right. And the lesson about it is when you are scared of something, you should not think about it too much and just do it. And it might be easy to say, but yeah, you will just fail the first time, fail the second time, fail the third time, but at some point, maybe you will not even realize it, but you will smash down this shitty fear. And of course, some fears are rational. The challenge is to find which one you can face and which one you have to acknowledge. But I really see that as a game. And it really brings the best memories. And once you smash down a shitty fear, don't stop, because there are so many shitty fears out there. And I constantly try to expose myself to as many fears as possible. And by doing that, it really brought the best memories in my life. So August 13th, 2012, was one of the scariest days in my life, because I was in Reykjavik on the road. I was raising my son and waiting for a car. And I used to ask myself, oh, what if I fail? But that day I was asking myself, what if I did something new? And I just ended up hitchhiking for 1,500 kilometers through Iceland. And since that day, I tried to ask myself, what if I do something new instead of what if I fail? Because I think it's a better mindset. And yeah, it's really, it was really simple, but it really helped me to have a sort of portfolio of scary things that always help me every time I feel paralyzed. I think about every time I crushed a shitty fear, and it made me more confident. So I want to end with one last advice, which is expose yourself to fear. You will feel very stupid in the first place, but trust me, you will get used to it. Thank you.